Welcome back to Imperium Galactica, where Dante is going to change up the economic strategy for the war somewhat here. Now, we did all of the normal building of police stations, etc., trade center on Outer 13, but that was the last planet we're doing that for. It does appear that, rough estimate, I'm going to be able to finish the war, gain complete victory by early February. A couple weeks is my target. We'll see how that works out. But there isn't enough time for us to gain benefit from the buildings we're putting up anymore. I want to make sure there's plenty of money, overkill if it needs to be, throwing into all of our production. So on Outer 9 here, for example, we're not building anything. We'll get the military spaceports up for planetary defense, but none of the rest of it is going to go up. Same thing with the other colonies. There's no point continuing to build improvements there either. So, for example, on Earth, which is somewhere over here, is it not? There we go. We have, oppressive taxes instead of demanding. I've boosted it by 1 level on all of the planets, and that will cause population to go slightly negative within a few days, but it's not there quite yet. Now, as we prepare to hit our next planet on Outer 7, we're still behind on building up tanks, and we could eventually run out. Hopefully that doesn't happen. We can stagger it enough and fight well enough to not take too many losses. But on Outer 9 here, we did suffer even more losses than on Outer 13. It was 11 tanks and 2 of the heavy rocket sleds. They had quite a few rocket sleds, and they hit us on both flanks, so there wasn't really a whole lot of adjustments that could be done there. But each planet is its own animal and puzzle to figure out how to fight it out. The Dargslan are at 10 planets still because they took Outer 30 from the Dribs. So that's the second planet they have now that isn't a core one, to go along with Outer 21, which we'll be hitting before too much longer. But at the moment, it's a continued emphasis on speed. After each planet, I'm looking for the closest military spaceport to go ahead and rearm and get all my bombs set up, and then head right back into whatever the next nearest Dargslan planet is and knock down their numbers as quickly as we can. So let's see what transpires here on Outer 7. So we've just finished off the bases and the shields and the meson projectors, but they've got a plasma here as well. Previous planet had a couple of fusions, and anything that's not meson we can hit with our flagships. So same approach. We inch forward until we can hit it. There we go. So here's our typical formation. Unfortunately, Outer 7 is a fairly difficult planet to fight on for multiple reasons. Of course, the core worlds have quite a few buildings, which means getting through them to hit what you want to hit can be complicated. We got the fortress here, and an even more protected fortress up here. Fortunately, the fortresses did take more of the orbital damage than usual, so that's going to help us. But there's just a lot to deal with, and this is not that big of a planet. If you look around the outside, there's not a lot of open areas we could have deployed. I mean, the top is just a mess. So this was really the only half-decent place, even though it's closer to this fortress than I'd like to be. So we'll just have to see what happens. Now, the previous planet, Outer 9, had quite a few rocket sleds, and this one does as well, but notice all the light tanks also. I've been seeing more and more of these. I think they're just trying to fill out their numbers, but they don't have either the time or the resources, and I'm fine with either one, to get the higher tech stuff. So, like, a lot of their rocket sleds are regular. Some of these are heavies as well, so they've got some of each. Bunch of light tanks, and that means their numbers don't mean as much as they might otherwise. But it's such a amount here that's close to us. We just kind of have to wait for this initial scrum to clear before we decide what to do next. Okay, press forward. We're pounding them, and they're pounding us, and all sorts of pain is happening. Things blowing up on both sides. Well, you can keep... Yeah, those rocket sleds are going... We've got all rocket sleds on this side now. So I think what I want to do is pull forward some tanks. Let's have the 4 of you go after this. And then maybe these 5 push up this way more. Now, with the whole thing with rockets hitting the buildings, it's important that we have to try to remember here that that won't be true of the fortress guns, because they just fire through buildings like they're not even there. Okay. And you come up this way as well. Okay, so another regular tank coming up this way, but we have a good target here. Again, I don't want to get up too far. Okay, we got... Alright, we got some sleds out this way. Okay. We're probably going to take some hits out here, but let's go ahead and... Nope, not you. You stay here and attack this. Let's go ahead and run out that direction. And again, we're not hitting it a lot. We're hitting it some. Well, there it goes. Yeah, you're going to get blown up. There's probably no two ways about that. But let's take you as well. Let's just go out after that one. I don't think it's a good idea for me to press in here. Let's retreat. It's going to take a little bit of time. You know, the behemoths don't move quickly. It's one of their few flaws. Okay, you're down. You're having to come out at us more. It's just one rocket sled, and these tanks are pretty dangerous too, so it's a regular rocket sled. Another tank coming behind it. I just want to pull back there. But here... Let's go out after this one. Nope, not that way. Turn around. Okay, now it's pressing in on us, and you're firing up against the building. That's fine. You do that. Okay, you're coming. Alright. Now I think it's probably time for you to go right back after this. You can probably hit that without getting hit by the fortress. I hope you can. It doesn't take much to knock down these rocket sleds, thankfully. I just gotta get over there and hit them. Okay. You stay right where you are. Yep. We're knocking that one out. Okay. Withdraw. Now let's send one up this way. Couple around this way. Another one over here. Yep, you come up around. I did not tell you to do that. It's finicky, but we're getting over here, and I think you can probably fire at it as well. Just need to get a few tanks within range. What on earth are you doing? Don't attack the building, attack the rockets. Attack the rocket sled! Nope, not nuclear plant. Okay. I didn't have my mouse over far enough. I've got to pay attention to what it's telling me I'm shooting. Fine. Alright, we got it. Now, gotta deal with this fortress. And we're gonna have the same issues, of course, getting the tanks to it. Okay, here we go. So, we've got multiple pathways. We can only get so many tanks through each one, which is the problem. So we're just going to have to, like, the first few tanks through are not going to do that well. I'm going to charge them up, make sure they go through far enough that other tanks can follow. And then hopefully be able to do that relatively quickly. So you come up behind. Now let's bring some of you up in here. Now they're going to start opening up, of course. Let's bring you around this way. Okay, let's make sure you're in there. You attack. You attack. And now we're starting to get some numbers in the battle, but it's just... it's time-consuming and iffy. Just to drag everybody in through these passageways. But once we get a few tanks on target, we really start going down quickly. Yeah, stop moving, just fire. Okay. That wasn't too bad. It's just, it's really finicky to get all the movement done. And the next one's going to be even more fun up here to get to. Okay, I think we've got this pretty well surrounded. And let's see what we can get done here. So, first of all, you're just going to charge in. So are you. And we'll take a couple from this way. And a couple from this way. And this way, so, you know, just trying to cover every approach. Send them in, we'll wait a bit, and we'll send them backups for each of them. Okay. Now you can jump in. And you. And from each direction, continue the fight. Let's just move you up behind here, I think. And I don't know where you're going, but just get over here. Alright, close enough now. Just stop doing that and just fire. Attack, if you would, please. Some of them still getting hung up. But we took it down. Okay, what did we lose there? Well, that was actually better. That was much better. I mean, I could take 5 tanks and a missile launcher, rocket sled, whichever. And you see the numbers of them. 25, 30, 35, 40 tanks plus 2 fortresses. So, when you get to see these types of casualty numbers, then you realize all the finicky messing around with the pathfinding, it's really worth it to conserve the military. Now, another fun fact is that both of these Dargslan fleets are headed towards this planet. And we'll get to building everything up in here and whatnot in a minute. I don't believe that there's... Let's just check out the planet. Let's see what it's got on it. It doesn't have a military spaceport. So we need to go to somewhere that does. We're going to slide down here to Outer 20 and then work on some additional ones of these planets. But much like the Garthogs, even though they're headed for this planet we just conquered, we don't have to care. Because they're just trying to refit. So what happens is that they simply arrive, and oh, this is not our planet. What do we do? Oh, we'll just move off and go somewhere else. Now, it's possible that they have no tanks on them, but I doubt it. I'm sure they've got at least some left with the big complement they carry. They just simply don't care that we're here. Because that's not what their mission was. Their mission was to refit and resupply, and can't resupply, so we'll just move on. We don't care that the humans are here. We'll just go on about our business. Next day or so brings pretty much all good news. We're up over 1 million credits, so the economic policy is working. Got plenty of money. All of that's going smoothly. We've actually built up enough in terms of our tanks and bombs that we've gotten slightly ahead. So that's nice. And we're about to take on Outer 5. Outer 21, weak planet. They had 1 shield, 1 meson projector, so a couple dozen bombs. No fortresses, although they were building one. So we were able to knock that out quickly with no losses. So let's see how Outer 5 goes next. Well, rather remarkably, we've actually managed to find a planet with a little bit more cramped starting location. You can see our battle here is not going to be very fun at all. The fortress here is a little bit damaged. Second one here a little bit damaged. But up at the top, it's even more cut off. This side, boy, this side might have been better. But of course, you can't plant the troops as deep. So I'm going to go with it down here. And really, if we were to lose, say, the food factory or the nuclear plant, really not that big of a crime. We can use them as shielding. That might actually help, but we're definitely not going to be able to maneuver. Okay. Straight up here towards the fortress. And notice with this group, I don't see any light tanks. I don't think there's quite as many of them, but what they have is quality. So it's going to take us a little bit longer to tear through them. Definitely expect to take some more losses here. Yep, we're definitely losing some tanks. Of course, not nearly as many as they're losing. Okay, this one's trying to go around the hospital, not getting very far. Alright, that's everybody that's right in front of us. They have a radar car. They have a heavy rocket sled, which presumably will come our way. That food factory sure took a beating. And you're coming out this direction. And I kind of just want to wait for you, really. I don't see any reason to do anything else. Okay, you're going to keep hitting the food factory? Is that what you're going to do? Alright, let's send... some decently strong tanks up there. You're gonna go back the other way? Is that what you're gonna do? Well, let's get over here and get this done, because I want to knock this out without getting a range of that fortress if I can. That should be close enough. Let's try it. Yep. They can shoot it, and they're getting hit from that side. Okay, let's bring up some more of these. Because I think Mr. Auto Repair is about to join the fray. Yep. Where are you going? What are you doing? Pick a direction. Okay, yeah, the fortress is hitting this one. So we're going to lose that tank. Everybody back off. I don't think there's any saving that one. I mean, I'm going to try, but I don't think it's going to happen. Nope. There it goes. Okay. Alright. So this radar car can do whatever, and we just need to clean out the fortresses at this point. So probably overextended with that one tank, but other than that, went well. Didn't even lose any buildings completely. So it ended up more or less the same as the last battle. If we can keep our losses down to this level, half a dozen per. And again, they didn't have as many tanks this time. So that, I think, more than made up for the quality. If I can keep that even under 10, I think I'm going to be pretty happy with it. So, Outer 5 has fallen. They have these two plants over here. This one has a military spaceport. So once we hit this, we should be able to rearm quickly and hit Outer 8. And then we're going to push in all the way over here where there's 5 more. So they're down to 7. We're closing in, but not quite there yet. The struggle will continue next time. Till then, thanks for watching. Imperium Galactica will continue.